Hello and welcome to COM 4740, Intercultural Communication. My name is Dr. Annette Hamill and I will be your professor for this course. The purpose of this video is to give you an overview of the course, to let you see and hear me, and to outline some of my expectations for the semester. So please watch this video in its entirety in order to get a good orientation to our course. In the next few minutes, I'll go over the course content, the building blocks and components that will make up our course. I'll talk a bit about my course policies and procedures that you'll need to know, and I'll give you an overview of what sections of the e-learning site that we'll be using the most. Before we go any further, I'd like to clear up a few misconceptions that a lot of students have about online courses. Now, you may have taken online courses in the past and know pretty much how this works, or you might be brand new to this. In either case, I'd like to give you my own take on how an online course is set up and some things to be aware of. The first misconception that a lot of students seem to have about online courses is that they expect them to be easier than a face-to-face class. That is not the case. In fact, they can even be more challenging for a lot of people. You will be covering the same amount of material in this course as we would in a face-to-face class, but without the benefit of going to the classroom or having that face-to-face interaction. So taking an online course and being successful in one requires you to organize your own workload and to have the discipline to work on your assignments every week. So that can be tougher for a lot of people than a more structured type of course. The second misconception that a lot of students have is they think an online course is going to take them less time than a face-to-face course would. Again, this is not the case. If you were in the classroom section of this course, you would be spending about 3 hours a week in class, and then outside of class, you would still be doing reading and assignments. So consider being in an online section. You're going to have to spend a comparable amount of time. There will be video lectures you'll need to watch, readings that you'll have to do, papers that you'll need to write. So plan now to invest a number of hours every week in this class and to not allow yourself to get behind, because that leads me into misconception number 3. Sometimes when students take an online course, they think they're going to be able to work at their own pace. There are courses designed that way, but this is not one of them. In this course, we will be following a schedule. We will have weekly assignments, and if you miss a due date, you will be late on your assignment. So even though we are in the online format, it's not entirely a work at your own pace course. You might be able to work ahead at times, but you will want to keep up with each week's assignments. In this course, we will have weekly readings that will be listed for you, and you'll need to complete those during the week. I recommend you take good notes on the book as you read, so you will have that information to refer to when you prepare for exams. You'll also get lecture videos that you can watch. These will not take the place of the reading, but will be a companion to the reading. We'll also have weekly assignments in this course that will be listed out for you in the syllabus, and you will get specific instructions on how to complete those assignments inside of each course module. And we will have weekly due dates. These are usually on Sunday night. So just about every week there will be something that you will need to turn in. It might be a quick and easy assignment. It might be one that will take a little more time and forethought, but count on having something due every week. The book we'll be using for this course is called Intercultural Communication in Contexts, and it is by Judith Martin and Thomas Nakayama. It's pictured here, and there's information on the front page of the syllabus about this book, such as the ISBN number. This is the 7th edition that's pictured here. I don't have a preference for what edition of the book you use. So if you are able to obtain an older edition of the book at a reduced cost, that is fine with me. So when you look on the used book market and you find, say, a 5th edition maybe that's quite a bit cheaper than the current one, you are welcome to use that. I'll only give you the caveat that page numbering might be a little different between editions, but the content is essentially the same. You may also be able to find PDF chapters of this particular book online, so that's another thing that you could look for if you're trying to save some money. You could also share a book with a classmate. Just make sure it is the Judith Martin and Thomas Nakayama book entitled Intercultural Communication in Contexts. Now let's talk about how we're going to use e-learning in the course. You'll want to sign on to the e-learning site every week. Click on the content menu and look at the module list to see which module we're doing that week. When you click on that module and look at what's inside of it, you'll see your readings and assignments for the week. So look over all the contents and make a judgment as to how much time you think it's going to take, even if you're not going to start working on it right away. Then it will allow you to envision the amount of work you'll have in the days ahead and what you'll need to do to complete things by the Sunday night due date. Here is a screenshot for one of the home pages of one of my courses. I wanted to point out certain items on the menu to you. These are the items that you'll be using most often in this course. You see the 3 arrows that are pointing to the menu selections. Starting on the left, the content menu, this is where you'll find the weekly modules. So if you click on content, it will take you to a page that lists all of the modules. You can then click on the module you want, and it will show you all the contents inside that module that you'll need for completing that week's assignments. The second arrow is pointing to the communications menu. This is where you will find discussion boards. So if the assignment for the week is to complete a discussion board, that's where it will be located. And then thirdly, the arrow on the right is pointing to the assessments menu. And that is where you'll find the quizzes or exams and the drop boxes where you will upload written assignments. Please never send me written assignments over email. Don't send them to me as email attachments. They need to go in the Dropbox, so they're all in the same place. I can grade them right from the Dropbox, and the Dropbox serves as an archive and collection point for all of the assignments in the class. So it's as if I have all the student papers in one spot if you submit them through the Dropbox. So please remember to do that. Toward the end of the syllabus, you're going to see a page that looks something like this. This is the schedule page of the syllabus. It has a table on it where all of the dates are laid out in a grid. Okay, the one pictured here is for a prior semester, but you can see the format of it. It will have the module, the end date of the module, the topic, what your readings are, and what your assignment is. So this page of the syllabus will be really useful for you. I often recommend that people print it out and keep it in their folders, or I pin mine up on the wall above my computer so I can look at it all the time. You might want to write some due dates in your planner. However it is that you manage your schedule, that page of the syllabus is going to tell you what you need to do each week. And then when you go to e-learning and you open up any given module, all the pieces of the module are there. So all the things you need, such as a video lecture, an assignment sheet, some instructions for the discussion board, or criteria for the assignment that week, all of those kind of things will be contained inside the module. But this page gives you a good overview of what you'll need to do, especially that readings column. So you'll see what the readings for the week are, and the assignments column will tell you what those due dates are. The next thing you'll want to do is have a look around the e-learning site, examine everything in the Start Here module, and then once you have done that, go to Module 1 and begin the course. Do this week's assignments and contact me if you have any questions. My email address is listed here. It's also on the front page of the syllabus. On the front page of the syllabus, you'll also find information on how to contact me if you want to have a WebEx meeting. I have my schedule set up on Calendly. It's a website called calendly.com, and that's where I post the time slots I have available for meetings with students. So if you wanted to have a meeting with me, you could just go there and sign up for a time slot, and I'll get notified on that, and we'll talk to each other over the interwebs. If you would prefer a face-to-face meeting or a telephone call or what have you, we can do that. If you are not available during the times I have listed, we can do a special appointment at a different time. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you need any information. Now, at the beginning of the semester, you might not see all the modules on e-learning at first because I am still building some modules and adding content. So right now the Start Here module and Module 1 should be open. Don't fret if you don't see anything beyond that right away. I will be adding content every day. Good luck. I'm glad you're here. We're going to have a great semester. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.